Hey guys, Joe here, the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. Joined this afternoon by Vito of Vito Picks. Vito, you ready to talk some hockey?
Always ready, always ready. Surprising Oilers. Well, not surprising. Oilers got swept. I know the last time I was on the show, we talked about this series. But Drysdale and Nurse, they looked pretty injured. Actually, they played injured. So a lot happened in those series, and it's understandable why they got swept.
Absolutely. Well, welcome back to the show first. Thank you for coming back on. Great picks you've had as of late in the NHL. You're always rolling hot. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts on tonight's game, the New York Rangers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. But before we get into that, what do you think of Colorado in the Stanley Cup Finals? Did you expect to see them here?
Well, I mean, they were the cup favorites all season long and all year long. So I think somehow we all expected them to see there, because well, they were the favorites and there were talks. I mean, this is already second season. It's talks about Avalanche, how good are they? So step by step, they have reached now, and they're the champions of the Western Conference. So that was a big thing as well for Joe Sakic, as we saw. And I think they are all in here for the finals. I think definitely they are going as favorites in finals. No doubt about that.
Now, with them getting the sweep, they're going to have so many days off. How do you think the Colorado Avalanche will do with this much time to prepare?
Okay, so this is not the first team they swept, right? They swept
Yep.
also the Nashville Predators, and after that they played against the Blues. And in the first game, as much as I remember, actually, I think Avalanche dominated that game, and they also won that first game at the home. So we all thought that time that they will be rusty. Well, Avalanche somehow does not look too rusty. They always looks like they're on the mission. Tampa on the other side sometimes after the big breaks look rusty. But
Yep.
Avalanche this year they don't look so rusty after a break. But we shall see.
Oh, I'm excited for them. Who do you think they will start as goalie? Kemper or Francouz here?
All I think just now, Francouz got allowed 5 goals. Well, they still won. So in the end, if you watch, Francouz has not lost a game yet, which is why they might actually maybe go with Francouz. But again, after letting in 5 goals, that's a lot. Maybe they that's this big decision. I think it's I
This.
think I think it's hard. Yeah, I mean, he let in 5 goals, which maybe is not that good, and they came back actually from 4-2. So but he has still not lost a game, so he's still riding hot. So that will be a tough decision for Bednar.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard decision. Looking at this series here tonight, we have the New York Rangers, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa, huge favorites here at minus, I'm seeing 176 now on that money line, plus 158 for the New York Rangers. Total holding still at 5.5. What are you liking in tonight's game?
Well, yeah, I think the last game actually maybe we can catch on the last game was I think the best game. When you want to see a playoff game. If somebody asks me what's the playoff hockey, I would show that game. There
Yep.
was a lot of missed calls by the refs. There was up and downs. Tampa came back from 2-0. A lot of power plays. That game had everything. Good goaltending. So basically, it had everything. And yeah, well, if we move on to today's game, as I played Tampa in the last game in regulation, I know I got lucky a little bit since that game came in the last minute, but we all do betting, and this is what it is. It's sports betting. There's no wins without some luck involved sometimes, especially in hockey. So I played Tampa in the first game. I just thought they need to come out ready. Rangers played very well. The first period was even. They had even better chance to score. Later on, Tampa took over a little bit, and definitely they dominated the whole third period. We all saw that. Rangers couldn't do that. And well, this is, I think, one of the most important things for me. The next game will start as the last game, at least a little bit finished, I think. So uh, if Tampa finished that strong the last game, I expect them to come even harder out here today. And yeah, that all hype with Rangers leading the series 2-0, like coming into Tampa. And as we say, like at least unless the home team has not lost in the series, it's still let's not overhype anything. And here we go. if Tampa comes out today, and I would say I would go again with Tampa in regulation here. I would not be afraid this time to also go with the puck line because I think just how they finished that third period, I think they're bringing that game here today as well. I think today they're winning more comfortable against Rangers at home, and we are going back to even serious, I would say, and that's what also Stamkos said in the interview after the game. Like, there we go. They grabbed the victory at home. It's 2-1 now, and now it's a brand new series. And yeah, we shall see if Tampa managed to win today. Then it goes back to Madison Square Garden, where I don't where a lot of people think Tampa maybe will again win, but I don't think so. Just like we have seen how Rangers do, and Rangers play one good game and then one bad game. So, well, usually that's how it was in the regular season.
Yeah.
They have an amazing game, they dominated. Then the next game they go and they just lay an egg, 19 shots, nothing. That same happened a little bit with Carolina as well. So here we again see Rangers first two games dominating at home, then going on to Tampa. Well, they didn't play bad, I would say. Actually, the third game, I think Rangers played as they played, maybe a little bit worse than at Madison Square Garden, but that was not complete disaster performance. It was a decent performance. I think just Tampa played their best starting from second period. And what I expect today that actually Tampa will be on that same level or not even better, and Rangers just maybe will be again even worse maybe. And then when Rangers come back to Madison Square Garden, that's when we're gonna see again the Rangers on the top shape level. So I will play Rangers that in the next game, and then again Tampa. And I think that from this time on, I think this could be really a home team series, because really it starts I think from Rangers. I think the Rangers is the team which really also like Carolina. Rangers won that one game on their own in the end, but overall, Rangers is quite similar like Carolina. They just feed off the momentum in their own arena. They need to have these line shift advantage where they can put the counter line on. And for the Rangers, it's very important that the Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, that they get ice time, they get the puck a lot more. They get like shooting opportunities. They cannot really get that too much on the road. We see how they good play at home. So if those players are neutralized for Rangers, like Zibanejad and Kreider, it's tough for Rangers. Then there's Panarin as well. So yeah, Rangers at home are strong on their own, not so strong. I think the game 7 with Carolina they won just because. I mean, it's game 7. You just give everything, and Igor was also much better there. Igor was great as well in the last game. I mean, against Tampa, no, Igor's been good. Just yeah, Vasilevsky also is showing up. We also see the play of Vasi. He had an amazing game as well. So yeah, today I'm going with the same bet. I think Tampa is getting this done more actually comfortable today, that we don't need to see a goal in the last minutes.
Do you think we will see Tampa flooding Igor again with these shots? We saw them flood him with 52 shots on goal in the last game. He saved 49 of them. Are you expecting the Rangers defense to allow that many shots on him again tonight?
I think it's not as much as Rangers defense can do. Just it depends from Tampa's offense. I think Tampa will be dialed in this game. So I think we're gonna see 35, over 35 shots from Tampa. I think it's gonna be 40. Yeah, I think Tampa is getting like 37 shots today, and I think Rangers are getting like 20, maybe 5 shots today.
So we have Igor's save shots on goal over 32 and a half at -116. This is something I've already written. Do you think he saves over 32 and a half shots?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen you, Joe, betting all the time these goalie props in Twitter, and we don't have these actually here in my country, but those are great looks. I mean, you just really sometimes feels like free money. You know which team will just have the pressure and advantage in the game. You just bet an opposition goalie, and especially if you have Igor, I think there could not be a better match to make your bet. I think it's great look. Yeah.
Yeah, even looking at Mike Smith last night, we were able to get his over shots on Mike Smith. He did save so many. I think he was up to 36, 37 by the end of the night. Save shots still. He was able to get them, got over his 32 and a half save shots last night. So definitely a good way to look at these props for you guys. Any props for the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight or the New York Rangers game?
Okay, well, talking about props, far as I know, I guess those best players they don't have that much value always.
Yeah.
There's like that's the problem. So what I would look for, I mean, I'm just watching. Well, of course, Kucherov, Stamkos, those guys, those are the best guys. Well, some depth has to step up for lighting. I mean, if last game it was only Kucherov and Stamkos who scored, and I mean Palat in the end, then I think we can expect something from Nick Paul today. Or I mean, this Killorn been very quiet in these playoffs. I think I would not bet him since I think that in hockey you can if you are cold you are just cold, and you should not back the player which is just cold. If you see a player is cold and then you think, oh, now he needs to score, I don't think it's happening. Yeah, the player just have to score regularly to bet on him. So Nick Paul maybe comes up. I mean, second line center, big position. Braden point out that is something you could look at. I mean, Corey Perry, you can never go wrong with this guy. I mean, you're going to see that guy in front of the net looking for the puck in power play in all the time, because point is out. So you cannot go wrong with Corey Perry for Tampa Bay. And just looking at the Rangers, I mean, Rangers, really, for me, it's really hard to look for the depth here. I mean, how you pronounce this guy? Hitil?
Yeah.
You can, yeah, that guy. I think you cannot go wrong with him if there's good odds on him because that guy's been hot in playoffs. So could be a look. I mean, Lafreniere, obviously a first round pick, okay, and first round pick, and I mean that guy. He really then they really need to. I think they need to switch Lafreniere with Cobb. I think maybe we could see that today because Gallant likes to switch lines a lot. And since they lost the last game, there should be changes. And this is one of the which actually happens most of the times in the Rangers lineup. It's when Kopp from the second line, where he plays with Strom and Panarin, Kopp got down to the third line, and then they put Lafreniere on the second line with Strom and Panarin, and then Kopp goes with Kako and Haitili on third line. And why this is happening and why it's great and why I like it, I think Lafreniere is a skilled forward, and you have to play him in the right way. You don't want to play him in a third line. You have to put the guy in a second line, give him to feel the puck, and play with Panarin and move Kopp down to the third line. Kopp, a veteran guy in the league, I think he can play as confident as in second, also in third line with Kako and Heitel. So I think that's the change Rangers might do, and actually I think it helps benefits them from that.
Well, Vito, I want to wish you all the best in your bets tonight for this game. If people are looking to follow you and get your premium picks, where can they find you?
At the moment, they can just follow me there on Twitter at Vito Picks. That's it. And yeah, there's all the information. There's my prospects. You can check where I have played professionally. And starting from the next season, yes, I will make some channel where it's going to be some contests, and so some premium picks. But that's starting from the next season when the regular season will start.
You know what? The regular season coming up is just going to be in an absolute blank here. Summer is going to fly by. I can't wait for us to get started again. I'm already missing my Calgary Flames on the ice.
Yeah, well, Flames are missed, of course. And Daryl Sutter won the Jack Adams Award for the best coach. So good to see that. And hopefully they have motivation for the next year, right?
Absolutely. Hopefully Gaudreau stays put. Any thoughts on if he'll stay put in Calgary, or do you think he's gone? I think he's gone. Yeah.
I mean, who will go? Well, there will be teams which like him, but I mean, how many times we have seen that in playoffs, this guy somehow, they didn't have the same offense as they had in regular season. I mean, teams were easy able to shut them down. And I mean, we should actually understand it when it was Dallas Stars series. I mean, they had struggled there and, just continued in the next series. And I mean, if you cannot score against the Oilers more than, I mean,
you can't score on Mike Smith. Just say it. If you can't score on Mike Smith, you got issues.
Yeah, those guys which were very hot, like Mangiapane in the start of the season, also disappeared. So it is what it is. There's always next year,
next year.
Like you say in Toronto Leafs Nation.
Canadians have been saying that for the Stanley Cups for how many years now? There's always next year. But Vito, thank you so much for joining me here on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. Always a pleasure. You guys, make sure you give Vito a follow over on Twitter at Vito Picks. Thanks, Vito.
Bye.
Bye.